So I know that I've been gone for a couple of days and this was supposed to be daily content and I haven't uploaded anything since December 24th. But on December 25th, I got wicked sick. I had been getting sick because Scout had been dealing with it and I was refusing to actually allow myself to be sick. And that didn't happen. So on December 25th, I got really sick and we've all been just sick. And I've been, handling that. And so I apologize for the delay in videos or the missed videos, which I think I'm going to put up for the members only because that was fun and they were already like made. I just hadn't done the face bit. And so I think I'll put that up for exclusive content just for funsies. But anyway, I am back and well enough to celebrate the end of 2023 with you. And that's what we are going to be doing today while I showcase the final Project Soapway challenge and my contribution to said challenge. And I will tell you more about the New Year, New Day, Sunrise challenge in just a minute. But before I do, hello, I am Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, Sudsers? Welcome back to the channel. You are at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things, and you are here for December 31st, and the last of 31 days of Soapmas, minus a couple days, and as I said, the final Project Soapway of 2023, and that Project Soapway is Sunrise, New Beginnings, Fresh Start. And the reason why I wanted to do this particular brief for Project Soapway is because I was up this summer working on the attic and the roof and all the things. And so I'm 3 stories in the air, this massive livable attic space. It's so big, it's tall, it's amazing. Anyway, I was looking out as I'm just covered in dirt and I'm exhausted because it's a lot of work to get all this stuff done. And I looked out and I saw that the sun was rising between the beautiful trees that are along the back of my property. And I was very, very inspired because this year has been rough and it's been a really tough time for kind of all of us. And I actually stopped and took the time to experience and enjoy the sunrise. And I found that to be very comforting. And I thought that maybe the Sudsers would too. And so the brief that I gave was your sunrise, your new beginning, your fresh start, because every day is a fresh start. And so that's what we are doing today. This is my submission. Let's get to my video and we can talk more about my contribution to this final Project Soapway challenge. Okay, so we are doing daylight. We are making my submission to the Project Soapway challenges, and it is going to start, as all of my recipes start, with copious amounts of kaolin clay into the soaping oils. And there's my stir stick breaking. Love that. For me, I really need to get some new stir sticks for the filming studio because they're all the old ones that I don't even like, and they break, so I have to put 2 hands on them. That's great. And in addition to the soaping oils, which is my big bubble blend, my lots of lather, I'm going to do a soap nuts infusion with all of this because I want the extra lather, really. I'm going to be extra with all of this, I guess is the point. It's not necessary for the formulation that is called lots of lather, big bubbles, but this is what I'm doing anyway. Really, I think it was, I had that particular lye solution ready to go, and since my lye solution really doesn't vary, save for all of the different infusions that I may put into something, So the water and the lye amount is usually the same for any given day because I tend to soap well, I master batch light, I suppose. And so every other soap that I make for this particular day will also include my big bubble or my lots of lather blend. And so therefore anything that I pick up, any lye solution that I pick up will work for this purpose. You get it. Anyway, I do not remember if I showed you what I scented this with, nor do I remember what I scented this with at all. I can go look, I suppose. Maybe I'll do that. And I will tell you when I decide to go do the thing. But for this particular soap, as I said, sunrise, new beginning. And I have a very real desire to have a sunrise and new beginning and really appreciate that with each day comes a new beginning because 2023 was heavy. It was one of those years where I don't know. It felt like the longest year ever in so many ways. I gave the kiddos their annual Christmas ornaments. So every year it's a tradition that every family member gets a new special ornament, and including myself. So I buy one for me too, that sort of symbolizes the year in review or whatnot. And then, of course, when the kiddos grow up and move away, they will take their ornaments with them. So they have a collection to start their Christmas tree with. And my mother did that for us, and so I'm doing it for the kiddos. Anyway, point is, their holiday ornament this year, they were both from Disney. And, well, Soap and Clay Killer #1, she got a beautiful Brave, a Merida snow globe type ornament. And because she showed her bravery in spades this year in so many different ways, but also in Disney, because I figured she was going to be the kid that was afraid of everything because she usually has a lot of anxiety and she's unsure. And she swallowed those fears and ended up being very, very brave at Disney, but also within all things in her life. She's in this era where she's speaking her truth, even if her voice shakes, and saying no to bad friends and removing them from their lives, or removing them from her life rather, and all of the things. So she was brave, and Addison got It's a Small World ornament, which is an absolutely gorgeous ornament, but the reason why is because It's a Small World became her happy place, because Soap and Clay Kidlet #2, the one who is not afraid of anything ever, had a lot of fears this year, and she experienced a lot of, well, situations wherein she needed a lot of happy places. And so that was her happy place at Disney. Whenever anything was too overwhelming, she would be like, can we go on It's a Small World again? And we would go over there and we'd ride that ride. We must have rode that ride 9 times. But anyway, point is, I gave them their Disney ornaments, and Scout was like, well, I thought the ornaments were for like the year that we did. And I'm like, yeah, it is. And she's like, but we didn't do Disney this year. And I was like, no, we super did. It was back in May. And she also agreed. The whole family agreed that this year has been long. It feels like we've done a million things, and that January of 2023 was a million years ago. Now, here's my scraper. Here, my cart, my landscape, whatever. It's just a piece of cardboard, and we're gonna roll with it. All right, so now on to this next part. Now, I used a translucent melt and pour that I have made from scratch in this to do the sunrise. And so I just used my regular melt and pour, put some gold in it. I think I used Sister Golden Hair Surprise for that guy. And I'm just putting a little bit in the crevasse that I just made for the grayish brown is to mimic the trees on, that I saw from the sunrise that I was talking about earlier. And then the sun is sort of going to start poking through the trees on either side. And so I used the melt and pour to maybe give it hopefully a little bit of a sheen and maybe some translucence, because I did those one soaps, oh gosh, I don't know, maybe a year and a half ago or whatever. I think I ended up calling them geode soaps, but I'm not sure. Anyway, they were 1/3 of the total, soap itself was melt and pour. And so the product photography for that was just on point. So absolutely gorgeous because we put a backlight in it and that could be seen through the soap just in the middle. Absolutely stunning. And so I'm hoping that maybe I can accomplish that with this as well. But I didn't want to do an in-bed or anything and make it look too much like a sun, so I didn't want to do a half of a circle in there. And so we'll see what that works out with. And then for the rest of it, I am using, I think, strawberry something or other from Mad Micah's Strawberry Moonshine, as well as the Mango Lassie for the orangey color. And I'm just going to kind of mix them into each other in the mold and just continue to build this with my heart, like as it feels nice, really. And this was actually a really enjoyable experience because I was listening to a lovely podcast while I was doing this, and it was very, very early in the morning. The sun had not yet come up, and I'm listening to a lovely podcast that is not about cursed things, because usually I like listening to stuff about cursed things. So, deplorable YouTubers or true crime or, whatever. This was not about that. It was about the origins of, I think, Lord of the Rings, because I always end up going back to a Lord of the Rings stream or podcast when I need a lot of, I don't know, comfort sounds. And I was just deep into a fantasy world of some sort while I was making the soap in the wee hours of the morning and loving every minute of it. It was absolutely delightful. And the purple is, insert any purple here from Mad Micah's. It doesn't matter what purple I'm using because I always underuse the purple and it always ends up looking, well, lavender or lilac, And yeah, so it was a very enjoyable experience and it really helped ground me for the day. I was in a great headspace following that, and it was good. It was a lovely, lovely batch of soap. And so ultimately, I don't think I cared too terribly much by the end of this whether or not it was going to end up looking like a sunrise. I knew what I was doing. I sort of set my intentions before I started the soap, and I knew what it was meant to be, and I just rolled with that. And I think that was a good call, really. And because I really enjoyed that day that I was speaking of earlier. It was such a, you know, when you're dealing with just stuff all of the time, there's just a lot of things going on. The people that you love are really going through things. The year is long. There's always a million things to do. There's a lot of stressors, and on top of all the regular stressors, we have the house and everything. Looking up and actually appreciating the sunrise made me realize how much I should do that more often, because I am too busy all of the time. Just busy, busy, busy. And moving at such a rapid pace that I don't stop and appreciate the new beginning that comes every single morning that we get, and be thankful for that. You know what I mean? Or even a sunset. I don't stop and just appreciate a sunset and put my day to bed, like, mission accomplished. It's kind of hard to do that, though, in my defense, with the sunset, because I live in the Pacific Northwest, and during the winter months, the sun seems to set at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and during the summer months, it sets at like 10 o'clock at night, and I'm not up at 10 o'clock at night ever, and for the sun to set at 4 p.m., I still have a lot of day left to do, But anyway, the sunrises, I have taken an actual concerted effort to appreciate them more, because I'm always up for a sunrise, regardless of what time that happens, because I get up very early in the morning. Now, for the rest of this, I was just kind of maybe trying to get some backwards, I don't know, like some mirroring within the design. And so I had the pinks and the purples on the left side of the mold as I was building, and I thought maybe I could put some pinks towards the right side of the mold, and then, kind of push it in a little bit so maybe it would look like some sunbeams, or perhaps a cloud, because I always have clouds. That's just a thing that happens. I don't know, is the point. I measured this all with my heart. I did this whole thing with my heart, and the actual pour ended up taking way longer than I would have liked any pour to ever take ever, but I wasn't irritated about that. And normally I am. So ultimately, I guess what I'm saying is that this was a very, very nice pour for me. It was rewarding. And I'm doing these weird slow pans with the camera, and I don't know why I'm doing it. I did it earlier for no known reason. Am I just panning in to show you the pretty sculpted top? Am I hoping to get some nice shots to just cut into a short for later? I mean, I don't know what I was thinking with that edit, but past me should remind current me of that intent. But as it stands, I have no clue. Let's see pop and gel this and see what the inside of this looks like. Okay, and on to the cut. And again, as I said, it was C-popped and gelled. And the addition of the soap nuts makes for a delightful bar of soap that just pops right out of the mold, which is good because I actually was super impatient with this and wanted to cut it right away. So this was made at around 4 o'clock in the morning. And that very same day, at around 8 o'clock at night, I went back in and decided to get it out of the mold. Me struggling with the mold as I'm like, oh, it pops right out. But listen, it does. It doesn't stick to the mold, is what I'm saying, you know? And so we definitely have some holes and everything going on with this because a lot of the batter did get thick, and also because I was playing with it like crazy. That was wild. I forgot that I did all that. But the soap itself, it's firmed up, ready to go, still warm to the touch. In this particular instance, it was only C-popped and gelled for about 14 hours. And now on to the cut. Let's see what we have going on inside of this. And I'm going to do weird things, apparently, and not show you the soap and be incredibly slow. Why are you being so slow? Is this also something that you want to make a teaser? Trying to increase watch time on your videos? What's happening here? This is very silly. I can see the little circle there, and I do think maybe I made it too circular because the bottom part of the sun doesn't really look circular, you know? The top part tends to. But that's not bad. We definitely have air bubbles going on because I cut it too soon. But those work out too. Just like with the holes in the sides, you just take take your finger to it. It all works out. And I'm really not mad at that. Yeah, that left-hand side could be the giant maple tree. And then the right-hand side over there could be smaller maple trees because I have a lot of maple trees. If I were to do this again, I probably would have taken a skewer or my spatula to the blacky gray portions and chopped it up a little bit so it looked like trees as opposed to maybe just hills or mountains. Hills or mountains are great. I do love the purple wispy going on into the pinks and the yellowy orange. I do think that's beautiful and representative of the sunrises and the colors that you see for that. And so I'm not mad. And the brown or the gray black at the top is more for, it's not a completely, bright sky yet. And so it's starting to light the sky. And so that's where the clouds and the darkness and everything still exist. And the sun is going to come up and make all that darkness go away. And I love it. I'm really not mad at it, but the mountain thing, it would be a cool one. I don't really live in a place where mountains are seen, though, anymore. I used to. And so if I were still living in the Southwest, in Colorado, that would be the jam, and that would be what I would do. But that's not how this was. And so, yeah, my tips to myself would be to definitely give it some more spiky bits within the gray on the bottom, and try to maybe round the top. It didn't accomplish anything putting that melt and pour in the middle, by the way. It's not a big enough footprint to be translucent in that area. So I put a light behind it and tried to. It didn't work. It was not a good time for me. But that's okay because it was a good time to try, and it's always fun to try new things, and that was a new fun thing to try. And so now I know that that is just not part of my sunrise journey. And that's okay because the colors themselves, they more than make up for it. And so I'm not mad at that. I really do think these soaps are gorgeous, but honestly, if they were terrible looking, I would still be happy because we are sending off one of the longest years ever. All of the all of the everything, all of the ups, all of the downs, all of the stuff, a million and two things going on all of the time. The Sudsers doing their things and all their successes immediately hit by a bad thing. I mean, it's been a lot, and I've been with you guys for every step of it as much as you guys allow me to be so, and I appreciate that. I do try to play it pretty cool, you know. I don't want to be the center of attention in Discord and always talking and controlling the conversation, but I am always there for you guys whenever you need it. And I do watch and I do see. And obviously the DMs are a different story too. So the people that, you know, if you know, you know. Anyway, so it's December 31st. It's New Year's Eve. Normally I would be making some awesome getting dressed in some awesome outerwear or, you know, club wear really, and putting on the Reputation tour on Netflix, and the family and I would be ringing the new year in with Taylor Swift, like we always do every year, with confetti and poppers and the glitter on the floor after the party on New Year's Day. But this year, I'm really sick, and so that's not, getting dressed up is not part of my journey. But we'll probably still watch Taylor. We just probably won't be dancing around. But yes, New Year's Eve. Thank you guys so much for being here, for being part of my journey, for letting me be a part of yours. I really do appreciate it. You guys are everything to me in ways that I will never fully be able to describe, even though I continue to try. Honestly, that could have been a big gray blob of nothing, and I would have loved it because I am very excited for 2023 to be over. It's been a challenging year for a lot of you. I have definitely felt the challenges that you all have experienced, and it's been a weirdly long year for me with kind of a lot going on that I didn't plan for, and I don't do well with things sort of throwing curveballs at me, you know? And so I'm looking forward to a 2024 with all of you. And this is my send off of 2023 and hopes for a new beginning. There's always a new sunrise, and I am going to be experiencing that sunrise tomorrow in a very hopeful and positive way. And I hope you guys can join me with that. For the rest of it, it is December 31st. So, you know, enjoy your New Year's Eve. I hope you guys are having the best time today. I hope you are doing some self care. Obviously, I hope you are being safe because I do want to see all of you back here tomorrow. Sudsers, thank you for existing, for being you. Seriously, go be safe. Give all of your loved ones great big hugs. Give yourself a great big hug. And I will see you back tomorrow for another round of Project Soapway. All of the beautiful winners. Soapy fun. Bye.